You made it. Welcome back, yeah, BEA, beautiful souls. Sorry, it's been a while since I posted For Honor, but For Honor just really has no content lately, and I've been thinking a lot about the game as recently, especially since there's so much controversy surrounding Ubisoft. And if you guys don't actually know, Ubisoft owns For Honor, okay? Ubisoft owns For Honor. And honestly, that's quite depressing news for us doomers out there. And they've made sure that no other game comes close to For Honor, maybe besides Kingdom Come Deliverance, but that is strictly a single player game, and it's quite amazing actually. I've yet to play the first one, but I want to play the first one before I play the second one. It is coming out very soon. So that game essentially has kind of the same system as the Art of War, pretty much essentially the same as For Honor. For Honor has 3 directional inputs, whereas Kingdom Come Deliverance has many more, and it's a lot more complicated. A lot of players aren't going to get used to it when they first play it. It's sort of just like Mordhau or Chivalry, where there's many different inputs and you have to block different ways. And so Ubisoft is not really innovating that much. I mean, we've seen all of their flops. Star Wars Outlaws, absolutely pretty mid game. You know, if you like Star Wars, if you like the MCU universe, I think you'll quite enjoy that universe itself. The new Star Wars fans, actually, the new Star Wars fans will like this game. The old Star Wars fans, probably not so much. One of the biggest reasons on why I'm making this video is that, one, For Honor is an 8-year-old game. It's been fairly successful, I'd say. I mean, it's got a quite cult-like following, you know, averaging on PC, Steam, like 3 to 4K players, and consoles probably around the same amount. So we got about maybe, you know, 10,000, 8,000 concurrent players, even though we are fighting bots most of the time anyways. And the fact of the matter is that I've been seeing so many bad things about Ubisoft. Their track record, they're probably one of the worst companies that people dislike and talk crap on. I kid you not. I just watched this crazy video by Legendary Drops, amazing YouTuber so far, makes really good videos, and it seems like a lot of his stuff is fairly negative, but it seems to be pretty objective, and he has done an interview with Ubisoft devs, and you guys know the controversy between their newest Assassin's Creed game, Shadows, with Yasuke, with the half-Tory gates, appropriating Japanese culture, Ubisoft stealing artwork, flags from other Japanese artists, and the Japanese reenactment group. Kind of insane stuff. They're doing some crazy things. For the amount of money that they're spending on fact-checking and being inclusive and not offending anybody, I feel like they're offending quite a lot of people. Not just Japanese people, but people who want other cultures to be, you know, respected and represented in a positive light. And so Ubisoft is just honestly digging themselves into a hole deeper and deeper. So if you haven't watched this video, I would highly recommend you guys to check it out, because it does explain what the developers are saying, past developers, current developers are talking about when it comes to inside Ubisoft. And the gist of it is that management, toxic positivity, is a real big issue, and that's, you know, affecting their games, and we can see that in real time. If you didn't know, JC is not currently the lead game developer anymore, or game director anymore. Ubisoft has posted a game director role, and they want to continue to have new direction for the balance of the game, or the life cycle of the game. So this means that people who hated on JC's balance decision, well, we're getting a new direction, I'm assuming. So when we ask the question of why is For Honor dying, well, the reason is because of Ubisoft. I've said it time and time again, is the way you bring back For Honor players is to completely revamp the entire marketing system. What do you need to market? You don't market a new female character, a new female pirate. You don't market an Aztec character, which we have been asking a lot for, and I'm sure quite a few players did come and new players did arrive in For Honor, but only way to actually say For Honor is strictly fixing your servers and making it so that people don't disconnect or rage quit or get punished for staying in the lobbies anymore. You realize that majority of players are rage quitting and getting disconnected in an 8-year-old game. An 8-year-old game, mind you. In Season 5, they said they fixed the servers, they gave us dedicated servers, and we have dedicated servers. They also removed the ability to have peer-to-peer in custom games, and what did that lead us? Well, they just removed the peer-to-peer and just added dedicated servers. And so the game is at a decent place when it comes to balance, but when it comes to the servers, it has never been worse than before, in my honest opinion. When I played in the beta, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3 of For Honor, I was playing on console, I was a Wi-Fi gamer, yes, I was disgusting, okay? I deserve to be Oathbreakered 4 times by Blackbriar, honestly. I admit that, okay? I admit that fault. But the truth of the matter is that For Honor has such a bad rap that it cannot, and it will not, and it shan't not recover, okay? It just cannot fully recover. Not only is the skill-based matchmaking pretty much non-existent, where I am fighting rep 0s, rep 20s, I'm rep 900 mind you, almost 1,000, God please help me. But the experience of the players is just not at a healthy state in my opinion, especially when you have such strong characters bullying new players, or even new characters, new players picking up the game and bullying old players, or not necessarily old players, because usually the veteran players can handle most of the mix-ups and understand the core concepts of the character and the game itself, but medium tier players, people who, you know, don't necessarily play the game for a living, have 1,000 hours, you know, they will actually suffer, and the experience of that is not going to be enjoyable when they're getting their ass beat by a new character, a new player that's just really overtuned, and it has a lot of unfun and unfair mechanics. And we really can't forget about 4 stacks just absolutely dominating matchmaking games. When you're a solo queue player or a duo queue player, it really doesn't feel that good to get a disconnect from your own teammates while fighting a 4 stack that knows how to optimally gank. It's just objectively not fun. Now I know I sound like a broken record, but I keep having to reiterate this. This is such an important aspect where the developers actually need to invest in better servers. Are they making enough money to actually keep up the game at this rate? I mean, I feel like the servers have gotten so bad ever since they added all of the Outlanders, in my opinion. I feel like they're cursed. They've got to be a curse, boys. Now, I bring all this up because For Honor is one of my main games. It's still one of my favorite games of all time, and I want to keep supporting this game until I am an old man yelling at the sky at all those Zoomers out there who keep trying to light spam me. That's when I'll become a light spam complainer, because my reactions will be so slow that I can't even block an Hitakiri heavy attack. Well, actually, a lot of people get hit by Hitakiri heavies, so I think everyone's kind of struggling with that. And Ubisoft's management is just not at a good place. We're in this era, and I don't want to call it woke because it's such an overused word. The word woke can just mean so many things nowadays. It's like calling someone a racist. It's just meaningless now. It has no weight whatsoever. I bring this up specifically because it pertains to For Honor. We have a huge For Honor community here, and I do love and appreciate you guys, but a lot of people ask for White Magi. Slanders is one of the, I think he's one of the first ones to ask for it. It's actually freaking hilarious, and a lot of people probably have already wanted to change the skin color of any character besides someone just making a YouTube video. You know, just because I make a YouTube video doesn't mean I'm the first one that thought of it. Now, going back to the White Magi argument, now besides the fact that you can make a black Viking, which does not exist, and you can make a black Asian, which in certain parts of in certain Asian countries you can get fairly dark. You can get a tan because the sun is out there working on the fields, so that does make a little bit of sense. For the knights, I'm not sure if that's historically accurate, but I'm pretty sure it's not, simply depending on what timeline we are in, and if we're in the medieval ages, give or take around the 1400s, probably not going to see too much diversity there. But historical accuracy is not really the main point. It's not really the main argument, since this does revolve around a fantasy element and it's not a historical accurate game. And in those scenarios, you are allowed to put in artistic expression, which is fantastic. Artists should be able to express themselves, but why can't we express, or the artist itself who's making the skin color, the color of our skin, when it comes to a character from the Outlanders, when you can do it on other characters? It just seems a bit lazy, and I think that's the main thing of it. Ubisoft, it might not even be a diversity thing where they don't want to turn a black guy into a white guy. They just are lazy, and they don't want to do anything about it, honestly. They have other things they need to work on, like buffing Pirate and giving her more dodge cancels. Like I said, a company will only fix a problem once they actually start losing a bunch of money. We've seen this with Operation Health on Siege. We've seen this with Season 5 of For Honor, where they lost pretty much 90% of their player base because the servers weren't working. The game is broken, bugged out, glitches, so much freaking exploits in the game, and they had to just redo it all over again and tell players that, look, we fixed it. Cyberpunk also comes to mind. Release a broken product and fix it 2 years later, and then you can actually enjoy it. It's just what AAA titles do, and the people who pre-order or buy it right away and defend those companies, well, you're just enabling them to, do the same thing over and over again, because there really is no consequences. Ubisoft they just absolutely love to praise their diversity, their inclusiveness, and their respect to all differences. no matter what. And that's kind of every big AAA title company we see these days. That's all they really care about, because they got fed the idea that diversity itself is going to bring them loads of profits. And as you can see within their stock market and their sales on their new titles, it really isn't working out for them. Whoever told them that lie basically wanted them to fail, or just wanted to push their own agenda. And as gamers, we don't care about that. I do not give a flying F what your skin color is, what your race is, what your gender, what your sex is. I want a freaking good game with Big Booba. The people who are inside Ubisoft right now, who are trying to promote only the toxic positivity, where essentially you never get anything bad said about you because it could hurt your feelings, okay? Imagine getting hurt and butthurt by some words thrown at you because you did a bad job. And you can see that they're doing a pretty bad job in general when it comes to their games. Do they have some of these developers in For Honor? Oh, I am 100% sure that they do. And that's kind of why For Honor is in a mess. I think For Honor is doing fairly well given the situation at Ubisoft headquarters, and especially with what they're given with, and that's so little too, mind you. But I think if they shifted gears towards server issues and giving players what they want, like a Spartan character or a rapier character, things would go a lot better for Honor. All they care about is not offending anybody, and when you don't offend anybody, you pretty much offend everybody. Personally, as diverse as the Outlanders are, I kind of just hate them all. I'm not gonna lie to you. As based as that sounds, it's just the truth. I think a lot of people just want the Outlander deleted. Those characters are, just not that fun to fight against. They honestly just feel like they have plot armor the entire time. When you make a game for everybody, you make a game for nobody. And especially the people who are the vocal minority, who are very, very loud, like very, very loud, who just complain on Twitter, complain on Reddit all the time. That's not the majority of the players. I can guarantee you those people aren't playing the games, and they're not going to support your game for as long as possible to give you the most amount of profits. That's just the truth. Ubisoft really needs to take a long look within itself, just literally fire everybody, just clean house, start all over, see the works and recommendations from actually good developers, people who can write good stories and not use Sweet Baby Inc. God, please don't use that company more. That company has killed enough game studios and has left a really bad mark on gamers. They've ruined the gaming industry. A lot of companies take their advice, they consult them, and then they ruin the game. They say they don't implement their own ideologies in there, but I can guarantee you they do. The most important thing is try to make your game good and playable. For Honor is not playable. I can guarantee you. For Honor is not playable. The only way to play this game is to 4-stack and be constantly drunk. Constantly abusing and using, okay? That's how you play For Honor. That's how I play For Honor, and that's the only way that I can actually stomach it. So the question is, where does this leave For Honor? We are For Honor players. We've been playing this game for 8 years, at least most of us at least, have been supporting it. And at the first launch, when For Honor first came out, the game had some promise, but Ubisoft just did not believe in it hard enough and invest in it hard enough. Yes, they actually added dedicated servers, Season 5, but slowly starts deteriorating, and the support just goes to other games and other projects that Ubisoft thinks will succeed. And For Honor is just one of those games like Rainbow Six Siege where there's a cult-like following, and Siege has much more players, but For Honor is a niche game, that is why. Siege is an FPS, so it's automatically already it's gonna garner a lot more players that just want to shoot stuff, and since it's so tactical and highly competitive, same thing as For Honor. When you jump into a game like Siege and you jump into a casual game, a quick play, it is so sweaty. Same thing for Honor, where you're constantly bombarded by strong ganks, team fights, and characters that are ridiculously overtuned. It feels like it's very hard to win in a lot of your games, and that's kind of where the issue is on For Honor when it comes to Operation Health. Does For Honor need another Operation Health? Perhaps, but I think the majority of players really want better servers. Invest in better servers, invest in a backfill system, punish players for leaving their games so frequently, and of course add a ranked dominion so players can actually check out how to play the game at a very high level, competitive level. There's already people who are interested in it, but there could probably be way more competitive players out there that could actually learn how to play the game at a very high level in ranked dominion. I think that'd be sick. I've been asking this for years. They added it beforehand in beta, before Season 5. It's just a long time ago. A tournament system, and now they haven't brought it back, and it's been quite some time, and I really hope that Ubisoft tries to put more money into this project where they can actually put a competitive level instead of having to go out of For Honor just to enjoy a competitive experience, because competitive games in For Honor, they change the rules, they ban certain feats and all that good stuff. For Honor, I think it needs a good introduction to competitive play so you can actually get better at the game if you're willing to. Casual games in For Honor feel like you're playing the Dominion series where there's freaking 50 grand on the line. I kid you not. Some of these players are sweating their balls off, and it's just not that fun if you're fighting a 4-stack. So these are my thoughts on Ubisoft right now. Ubisoft definitely has a management problem, and it will, and it probably already has affected For Honor. You know, the direction that they're taking For Honor, the balance is good, the servers are bad, backfill needs to be added, right? Dominion needs to be added, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys would want to change and how you guys have been experiencing For Honor right now, because I have already said a lot about For Honor within the past couple of videos and mini videos in general, but you guys know my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. Appreciate all support, guys. More For Honor stuff, and perhaps some more Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero content in the future. Thank you guys so much. Have yourself a beautiful day. Bye bye. See you later.